Hello everybody and welcome back. In this lesson, we are learning something very visual. Form widgets and labels in Django. Whenever you create forms in Django, the framework decides how the form fields should look in HTML using something called widgets. Text boxes, number boxes, drop-downs, radio buttons, date pickers, all of these are powered by widgets. We'll also look at labels, which are the friendly names displayed next to each field. And just like every other lesson, we will end with a fully worked out example on the CodeChef platform, a form that uses every major widget that Django provides. You will get hands-on experience by running the server and interacting with each widget. Alright, so let's begin with the basics. What exactly is a widget? So let's see how Django controls the appearance of form fields on a web page using widgets. We'll also understand how labels work and then walk through a complete widget showcase example. So what is a widget? A widget is responsible for generating the HTML needed to display a form field. Django field types do not directly control the appearance. Widgets do. So for example, a character field can appear as a text box, a text area, a hidden field, a password field, and so on, depending on the widget that you assign. Here is a simple example. We are telling Django, render this character field using the text input widget. Behind the scenes, Django produces a standard HTML text input element. Now let's see what are labels. Labels are simply the text users see next to form fields. Django can generate labels automatically, but it is always a good practice to customize them so your form feels more intuitive. So here, for example, you can see in this name, it is a character field and the label is your name. So what the user will see is your name followed by the field where they can type the name. Now, why do widgets and labels matter? Widgets and labels help create user-friendly, accessible forms. They give you full control over how your fields appear and behave in the browser. So they will improve user experience, control the exact input type, and you can also add placeholders, CSS, and custom attributes, and they are really essential for building real-world forms. Now Django comes with a large set of widgets that are ready to be used. They cover almost every input type that you might need, from simple text boxes to file uploads, radio buttons, drop-down selectors, and even multi-value fields like split datetime widgets and so on. So these are some of the built-in widgets that are provided by Django that you can see here. So instead of learning widgets one by one, we will see all of them in one practical example on the CodeChef platform. This will give you a complete reference that you can use in any Django project. So let's head over to the CodeChef platform and see all the widgets that are provided by Django in action. So here I am on the CodeChef platform, and as you can see, we have a widget showcase example. This is a worked out example. And if you look at the file explorer, you can see that we have a project called Widget Showcase and an app called Forms Demo. And then we have the forms.py file for the app, the views, and also we have some templates here. Okay, one template here, which is form.html. So let's take a look at the forms.py file, which is shown here. So as you can see, in our forms.py file, we have created a class called widget demo form, which inherits from the Django form class. And here we are having multiple fields, and these fields will give you an idea of all the widgets that are supported by Django. These are the ones that you will be mostly using in your real life projects. So here, for example, we have text, which is a character field, and the label is text input. That means this is what the user will be seeing on the screen beside the actual field where they can enter the text. And here you see we say widget equal to forms.textInput. That means this character field will behave as a text input, which is like a short text. Then we have the next one called text area, which is also a character field, and the label is text area, and I say widget equal to forms.textArea. So here you see we have used text area instead of text input. So this will support a larger number of text. Then we have number. So number is an integer field and the label is number input, and we use the widget called number input. So when you say number input, it will support only numbers and you will not be able to enter anything other than numbers in this field. Then we have the email field, which is an email input. We have the URL field, which is a URL input, and so on. So for all this, Django will look for the correct format. So if you enter, let's say, a wrong format email or a wrong URL format, then when you will be submitting this form, it will automatically ask you to enter the correct format of email or URL. Then we have this password input, and we use the widget called password input. Now when you use this, you'll be able to type in passwords which will not be visible. They will be just dots or asterisk which will not be shown on the screen, like when you enter usual passwords in your forms. Then we have a hidden field over here using the hidden input. Then we have the date time checkboxes, and you can see the corresponding widgets that are used for this. There are quite a few of them. I'll not be going into the details of one by one. So you can just come to this example and just take a look at each of the widgets that we have used here. So you see, for date I have used date input, which will support the date kind of inputs where you can pick the dates actually, and then you have the time input where you can pick the time. Then you have date time where you can pick both date and time. Then we have checkboxes. Then we have a choice field where we have given multiple choices, and then we have this boolean field and multiple choices and radio buttons, and also we have file uploads, and we have for images, and we also have this multiple hidden field for multiple choices, and then you also have split date time and then the select date widget. Okay, now we can also look at the views.py file where we are just calling that form here in this view and rendering it to form.html template. This is the template, and then we just render it using this template using the form.as_p, which we have already seen how it is done in the previous lessons. And the corresponding urls.py files are also there. So let us run this and interact with each of these widgets. So let me click on the run button here. So when I click on the run button, you can see that the server is starting, and then all migrations, if any, are applied. And then on the right hand side, we should see that the home page is loaded with all the widgets that we have used here. So let me just open this in a new tab and show you in detail. So you can see here the text input. So these are the labels which we had given, and these are the corresponding fields using the widgets. So the widgets control how the fields are actually shown in the HTML. Now you see here text input, it supports short kind of text, and this is actually the text area where you can type larger text. And then this is a number input. Here you can type numbers. So if I try to type anything from my keyboard which are not numbers, you see nothing is entered. But if you type numbers, it will be supported. Then email input also is there. Let me type some invalid email. And for URL also, let me type something invalid and see what happens. And password, as you can see, when we type the password, they are hidden. They don't appear on the screen. This is how your normal password forms looks like. Then you have this date input where you can actually select the date using this date picker from this calendar here. And similarly, you have a time picker as well where you can pick the time. Then you have this date time input where you can pick both date and time together. This is also another useful widget. Then you have checkboxes like this where you can check and uncheck, and you have drop downs here like option 1, 2, and then these are the hidden options again, yes, no, or unknown. And these are multiple select where you can select 1 or 2, or you can even select both. And you have radio buttons here which selects one input, either yes or no. Then here you can do the file uploads where you can choose the file, and also you have image upload where you can choose images, and you can see what are the type of files that are supported. And also you have split date time, and also you have date drop downs like this. Now let me just click on the submit button. You see when I click on the submit button, it detected that the email ID is not valid. So let me type a valid email ID and click on submit again. And again you see the URL also, it detected that this is not a valid URL. So we have to select some valid URL here. So let me just put some valid URL. And if I click on submit, it is actually asking for the file upload as well, because I did not upload any file because this was a required field. So when you upload the necessary files and click on submit, then it would work. So this is just a demonstration of how the widgets work in Django. So you can see that using the particular widget, you can control how the form looks like visually and also how the form behaves with respect to the inputs that it supports. So this is a very powerful and useful feature that is supported by Django, and it can be used when you are working with real life projects. And that brings us to the end of this lesson. Now you learned how widgets control the appearance of your Django forms, how labels make forms user-friendly, and how to use almost every major built-in widget through our widget demo example that we have seen. Now it is your turn. Head over to the CodeChef platform and try the practice problem that is available for this lesson to strengthen your understanding on widgets and labels. I will see you in the next one.